right, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters. Well, we're a few days removed now from the Republicans basically sweeping everything under the sun. The Republican tidal wave, as I'm now calling it. Uh, Democrats are literally out in the ocean holding on to doors and whatever they can find that's floating around on their woke Titanic that just is somewhere under the sea at this point. So, as you can imagine, there's a lot of woke media pundits, leftist pundits that are losing their minds and have been all week, whether it's The View or whatever. By the way, Bill Maher was surprisingly, uh, as he's been at times, very lucid about the situation. He doesn't like Trump, but he was like, look, we can't be dogging out their supporters either. Donald Trump supporters. And I thought some of the things he said made a lot of sense. I mean, honestly. But when it comes to Joy Reid and MSNBC, well, common sense or making sense, not exactly her forte. All right. You can bet somewhere she's seething because white people exist, right? So now she's doing two things. She's attacking Generations X, which is my generation. That's right. I grew up, born in 75, grew up in the 70s, 80s, early 90s. Great time period. Really fantastic time period. The best music, best movies, you name it. Oh, man. It seems like such a long way away, but maybe we're coming back around. We hope. And she's also suggesting that if you are part of the LGBTQ community and you have family that voted for Trump, it's time to boycott them for the holidays. If you know anybody, I mean, literally, Thanksgiving, don't go. Don't go around your family. And it's that sort of thing that's part of the problem, is the fact that they're pushing that kind of message and that kind of agenda, and people got fed up with it. So let's start there. Don't worry, we'll get to the proud American patriots that crushed Joy Reid, which I always have a good time reading the responses on some of these things. MSNBC's Joyless Reid continues to spiral out of control. I added that part. After Donald Trump's victory on Tuesday, Reid has plenty of blame to go around. She trashed Gen Z and white women and then lectured Latino men on helping to usher in Trump's victory. We'll get to that in a minute. Democrats have subjected Trump supporters to a constant barrage of personal attacks, calling them garbage, Nazis, racist, sexist, and dumb. How did all of that work out for you? It looks like it worked out fabulous for us because you continue to push people away right into the loving arms of Trump supporters.
Challenge with the idea of how do you interact with people who you know voted for this, right? If you are an LGBTQ person and you know someone in your family voted essentially against your rights, or you're a woman knowing that, this man was calling people the B word. J.D. Vance was literally calling Kamala Harris the trash and said, we're going to take out the trash. I know a lot of black women were incredibly triggered by that.
Take the trash out of Washington, I think is what he meant by that. It is what it is.
And if you then meet somebody and you know they voted for the people who called you trash, or if you're Puerto Rican, and you know someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually...
Okay, so let's think about this. The one thing we know these Democrats and these woke progressives are against is the nuclear family, right? We saw the 4B movement. It was part of the tenets of the BLM. And this goes along with that. There's something they have an issue with about traditional families and traditional practices. Thanksgiving, Christmas, you're not even supposed to say Christmas anymore. All this coincides, right? Don't go around your family. Boycott your family now. Again, Trump won the popular vote, and a lot of people switched parties. Remember, record number of registrations on Republicans. People got fed up with this kind of message, and they're still pushing it. They're still pushing it. By all means, keep pushing it. We'll keep winning every election from here on out. But Joy wasn't done there. She was upset with Gen Z. So check this out.
Yet it was the hip-hop and Hulk Hogan generation, the F Your Feelings latchkey kids who came up on Dynasty, Dallas, and The Apprentice, who were the lone age group that voted in a majority for Trump. A majority of Gen X voted to turn America into an autocracy and to condemn our kids and grandkids to a far-right Supreme Court, probably for the rest of their lives. And it was not just Gen X. Because while 91% of black women voted for Kamala Harris, 53% of white women overall voted for Trump, despite the open disrespect and demonization hurled by J.D. Vance and the Supreme Court stripping women's bodily autonomy, courtesy of Donald Trump, who closed his repulsive campaign by dropping the B word on Nancy Pelosi. The breakdown by education was stark. Harris won 57% of white women with college degrees and lost 63% of white women without them. It was also men. Trump won every age group of men, including 60% of Gen X men and 6 in 10 white men. Also Latino men, who despite the utter disrespect.
Notice the 21% black men. That's a huge number, by the way. It should be noted, estimated this is more like 26 or 27%. Just throwing that out.
Shown by Trump and his promise to deport some of your mixed status families, most of them voted in a 55% majority to make the deportations happen. Yet,
sure did, because they're here legally, and those people are not. They went through the process. They took the time. Those people did not. You know what they also don't appreciate? People getting a free ride, which is what a lot of the illegal immigrants, illegal aliens are getting right now, is a free ride, and a lot of people don't want to pay for it. Not to mention the rising crime. Do you think a criminal that came into the country sees a fellow Hispanic or Latino and they're like, you know what? I don't think I'll do bad to them. They might vote like I do. No, they're going to crack them in the head just like they would anybody else. So the law-abiding citizen doesn't want to be subjected to, the crime that everybody else is. The Latino vote didn't surprise me at all. I mean, by and large, it's a conservative group of people, and I'm just shocked that they have ever been voting Democrat in the numbers they have. So a lot of this got answered, of course, by proud Americans and patriots, and good for them. So proud of that generation finally start truth. Well, look, I think Elon went a long way to that. Joy Reid is wrong about everything, she says, as usual. I'm looking forward to her being out of a job as a legacy media continues to collapse. I agree, but we know how this works. I mean, they will flock to MSNBC. The people that are losing their minds will anyway. We know how that happens. She should just retire now. The country is changing, and her hate and race baiting are not wanted any longer. She is one of the most despicable, racist people on the planet. I'm Latina, college educated, followed every step to enter this beautiful country, learned your culture, respected, and voted for Trump. How about that? Womp, womp, womp. These people are just racist. Not all illegals are Latino, for one. That's a fact. We're finding that out. Absolutely. Haitians? Okay. Two, the majority of legal immigrants don't like illegals because they worked hard to come in legally, costing time and money, and these illegals come in and get everything free. Joy is a moron. There you go. That's exactly what I said. She belongs on The View. She'd be perfect for The View. She really would be. It'd be interesting to know just who is funding these disinformation programs. Believe it or not, CNN's ratings have crumbled over time, but MSNBC gets these kind of programs actually get some ratings, believe it or not. And everybody abandoned the Anderson Coopers and the Don Lemons went off the air. Well, they went over there to watch that hateful soul you just saw barking on television, Joy Reid, right? It's amazing. So now, stay away from your family. Okay, I mean, ostracize yourself even more because so many of you that are losing your minds, yeah, you seem like you need to be alone. You need some medical attention, is what you need. But it's all kind of rooted, the illegal aliens coming in. Let's try to change the voting dynamics and the citizens. They believe those people will be future Democratic voters. Let's try to kill the nuclear family. All of this is tied together, folks. It is. Gen X just happened to stand up and say, nah, we've seen Red Dawn. Okay? We've seen it. We saw it. What was it, 1984? 85? I can't remember exactly which year. I saw it in the theater. But we know where this is going if things did not shift. And people said enough. A lot of that had to do with Elon buying Twitter, I think, anyway. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.